King Minos, the greatest king of his age, had received a god from his patron. Crete was a maritime empire. King Minos worshipped Poseidon, the god of the seas. And he prayed and prayed and made sacrifices to Poseidon. And Poseidon sent him a gift, a beautiful, beautiful bull. Huge, colossal, thick neck, black fur, sable it was. And when it moved, you could see the light rippling across its muscular shoulders. It was an enormous beast. When it moved, it was like watching a hill move. Well, the god of the sea had sent this gift in order that Minos could sacrifice it to him in his temple. But Minos thought, I will, of course, sacrifice this bull in time, but I would like to breed from it first. I would like to increase my stock of cattle by putting this magnificent bull amongst my heifers, amongst my cows, and then my cattle will be the best in the world. Not a bad deal, he thought, a good little business trick, he thought. But you can't withhold from the gods the due which belongs to the gods. And the god of the sea intervened. So the knife, the axe didn't sacrifice the bull, but the magic of the god of the sea worked on Minos' wife, Pasiphae. Pasiphae and all the others looked at this bull and admired its strength, its power. But Pasiphae admired also its masculinity, its maleness. In fact, she conceived what you might call an unnatural passion for that bull. One night she crept out of her royal bed, out of the palace and to the stockyard. One night she slipped into the bull's pen. One night, one long, lasting night. She became pregnant. Her stomach grew and grew and grew. Her time came, or at least it seemed that it should have come, but 9 months passed and no, she did not go into labor, and her stomach still grew and grew and grew until it threatened to split her like a melon from top to bottom. Then, after 11 months, she went into labor, and she gave birth to an enormous baby with the body of a male child, but with the head of a bull. This was the Minotaur. King Minos saw his shame. He wanted to hide it. He called his inventor Daedalus, the most incredible inventor in the world, to construct a labyrinth so ingenious that nobody would find their way in. He would hide his shame, and the Minotaur would never find its way out. The work was completed. The Minotaur was growing fast, horribly strong. It was placed in there as a child, and it grew. And to make sure that it never came out, King Minos made sure that it was never hungry. And all of the states that were under his vassalage would send him every year a pick of young men and of young women. And they would enter the labyrinth, and nobody ever came out. King Aegeus, sitting on the temple hill of Athens, said to Theseus, do you mean to say that I've spent most of my adult life waiting for you, my son, to come and find me? And now that you have, you propose to go and leave me and go to certain death? And Theseus said it wasn't certain death. To go with the tribute to King Minos of Crete, to be fed to the Minotaur in the heart of the labyrinth? If that's not certain death, I don't know what is. And Theseus said, Father, it's not certain death. I might win. Oh, my boy. Nobody has ever come back. The 14 that go every year as tax never come back. The Minotaur is a fearful monster, and nobody's ever found the way out of the labyrinth alive. How are you going to do it? And Theseus looked at his father and said, I don't know, but I'm going to. And the king said to him, but you are to be the king of the people. You don't have to put your name into this. Their names are drawn by lot. You can be exempt. And Theseus looked at his father and said, if I am to be king of the people, then I must be of the people. I'm going where they must go. Well, the ship was prepared, and the black sails were hoisted, and Theseus said to his father, "Father, if I come back victorious, you will see, because I will sail with white sails. And when you see those white sails, you will know that your son has come back to you." And he boarded the ship with the 6 other young men and the 7 young women. And they set sail. And they arrived at Knossos, the heart of the empire of Crete. And King Minos inspected them. He looked them over, as he always did at this time of year. And with him was his daughter, Ariadne. Now, Ariadne had seen this before. She was used to seeing these doomed slaves shamble, shuffle forwards. She was amazed to see one of them standing with his head held high, his shoulders thrown back, and his glittering eyes looking everywhere with interest and courage. And she took more than a slight liking to him. And their eyes spoke in that silent inspection. Their eyes spoke a volume. And so, when their resting place, the slaves as they now were, the victims as they were to be, were trying to sleep, when there was a disturbance, a young woman in a grey cloak with a hood came in and spoke to Theseus. It was Ariadne. She said, "I've fallen for you. I can't bear to see you die like this. Here, take this." And she gave him a ball of thread, saying, "This will help you find your way back out. Drop it. And as you walk, keep hold of the other end and you will be able to find your way back out. And this is for your other hand." And she gave him a short sword. He said, "A short sword? What can I do against a monster with a short sword?" And she said, "More than you could do with a long sword. The corridors are there. Get so tight you wouldn't be able to swing a long sword." And so, the day had come. Pitch black it was under there, in the labyrinth underneath the palace of King Minos. Pitch black. And crushingly silent. So dark, in fact, it was like the touch of velvet on the face. The darkness seemed to tickle Theseus's eyelashes as he walked into that darkness. The first tunnel gaping like a mouth, and then deeper into a gullet of stone. And he walked, dropping the clue of thread behind him, unrolling it as he walked, his feet crunching in the dry, gritty flagstone floor. And in his right hand, his sword. And he walked. And he walked, turning this way, then that way. Arcane, brain-like, cortical, winding routes. And as he went closer, he was asking himself, is that my breathing I can hear? Or is it the breathing of something else?